Welcome to the channel. I am the Objective Fan, straight out of Kings County, New York City's finest. And you know the vibes, man. Welcome to the podcast. I'm glad to be back. It's been a minute. Salute to all of the early birds in the building. We definitely rocking with the most poppin' Knicks channel on YouTube. Coming off a crazy week. Salute to Mark Simmons in the building early. Let's go, man. I hope you guys are ready to talk Knicks, man. Yo, listen. I love the Knicks, man. Yo, going through this tough stretch, man, watching these Knicks games was everything. I mean, the Bucks game, we're going to talk about the Bucks game. As you can see, I got the topics to the left of me or the right of me. I can't tell. But we're going to talk about Randle's, his new diagnosis. We're going to talk about OG's return. And we're going to talk about the controversy that I got with some of you guys on my OG Anunoby video. A lot of you guys took that out of context. We're going to talk about that. We'll talk a little bit about the Heat game and maybe the other games too. We might also talk about the Kings game if we have time. And we'll also talk about the power rankings and more. So if you're new to the channel or to at least to the podcast, this is This Week Inside the New York Knicks. Give me 50 minutes. I give you the Knicks. We cover the Knicks 365, 7 days a week. And so that's what this show is about. So we'll be talking about the period up between April 2nd to the 7th, which was yesterday. And like I said, we'll touch on the game. So let's jump into research mode. So because on this channel, we put everything on the screen. So we can start off with the standings, or the stats rather. As you can see, Jalen Brunson, 28.2 points a game. Now listen, this man is definitely an MVP candidate. Notice how funny it was, right? Where there was this big thing about Jalen Brunson. They talked about his size. They found every excuse to diminish this man and try to bring him down and try to make it seem as though he's less than. But right now, he's fourth in scoring, right behind Luka. I think Luka's number one, Shai, and Giannis. He's the number 4 scorer in the league. So all these other guys that they try to put above him or ahead of him, from Halliburton to Stephen Curry, to even Maxey, now they're starting to give Jalen Brunson his credit, man. Round of applause for Jalen Brunson. Salute to Mark. You know what's crazy, Mark? It's crazy that the man has elevated so fast. Like, I knew he was going to be good. I just didn't know he was going to be that good this fast. I mean, he's breaking all the records. I mean, he's up there with Richie Guerin and Walt Clyde for all the 30 balls and the 40 balls. And it's amazing to see this man literally transform into a superstar right before our eyes. And we're going to talk about, if some of you guys might have saw the thumbnail about the second seed. We're also going to touch on that too. But yeah, Mark, it's crazy. I'm at a loss for words. I mean, when I watch this guy, it's like, I don't know. He just has his own swag that he brings to the table because he's not super athletic. He is like, he's not the tallest guard, but he does have the size and the strength, and he scores in the paint, right? He's not looking to get no cheap little, floaters, nothing like that. He's trying to take the bump. He's taking some hard bumps too. They're beating the guy up. I mean, he's really going through some hard, serious contest at the basket, but he's able to get the ball over the big guys. He gets around them. He just finds ways to score. It's amazing to watch, man. But Isaiah Hartenstein, he's leading the team with rebounds, 8.3 rebounds a game. You see Dante, 15.4 points. Now we'll pull up the standings too. Though I'm gonna go a little deeper into the standings, because there's some things here. Look at the Boston Celtics, though, with the 62 wins. Isn't that crazy? That's crazy how dominant they have been. But I'm gonna touch on why I honestly do believe that we can get to that second seed. So we're gonna get deeper into that. But right now we stand in a 2-way tie with the Magic, and for that third spot. So let's move forward, man. I'm gonna jump into this Bucks game. I know you guys, unless you guys are just not living under a rock. I know you guys saw that Bucks game. Let's see. Yeah, Mark. Yeah, he's definitely doing his thing, right? Exactly, the Dame treatment. Yup. You on the money, Mark Sims. Yo, salute to Mark Sims in the chat. Definitely, as I go through the topics, feel free to comment. This is an interactive show, so I'll get to your comments as I move through the topics. I will move a little fast because this show is only 50 minutes long, but if we go a little longer, that's fine as well. But I'll make sure we hit all the topics, and whatever comments you leave in the comment sections, we will get to it. So, but yeah, this game, honestly, I kind of was upset with Coach Tibbs. In my mind, of course, there's no way I could talk to Coach Tibbs and tell him how I feel about his coaching decisions. We all watched the game, and we're like, oh my God, why did he do that? But once again, Coach Tibbs proves why he honestly should be a candidate for Coach of the Year. I know he's not going to get it. I would give it to the guy from Boston. I hate to admit it, but Joe Mazzulla in Boston, he's really the Coach of the Year. I mean, the Boston Celtics has been held head and shoulders above everybody else. I hate to admit, trust me, I hate to admit it, but it's the truth. But Coach Tibbs definitely belongs to be in that top three because when he started Hart and OG, in my mind, right, my basketball mind, I'm like, okay, we're going up against Giannis, the best power forward, probably one of the best players in the league, right? Let's start Precious at the 4. And OG's coming back from injury. I didn't want to give him all of that. I didn't want to give him all that pressure. That's a lot of pressure guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo. I mean, if he's going downhill, he's virtually unstoppable anyway. So I'm like, let's put a bigger guy on him, try to bump him, even waste some fouls. Even if we get 6 fouls out of it, let's get 6 fouls out of it. So let's see. Yes, Bucks do have the toughest remaining schedule. Yep, they play Orlando twice. And so, but you're getting a little head mark. I'm gonna get to that. That's one of the reasons why I say that we could get to that second seed. But to bring it back to here, so I didn't see the vision that Thibodeau had with going small. I really wanted to go with a bigger front line, only to try to. Of course, you're not gonna stop Giannis. Like there's no one guy that could defend him. I mean, OG did it in the second half, right? He definitely did better in the second half. But that was the adjustment of let's not turn over the ball, right? One, because the Bucks really, if you watch the first half of the game, that's how the Bucks was getting off. It was in transition and even getting in transition after makes too. They were trying to get Giannis downhill, fast pace, trying to get him downhill so our defense won't get a chance to set and he can attack. Because he's deadly in the open floor. So I feel like Tibbs, the reason why he didn't go big was, one, to maintain that athleticism, right? And also on the offensive end, Precious is kind of limited. He's not a bad player, but he's OG has more range. He can stretch the floor and he can create his own shot to a degree, more so than Precious. Precious is good off pick and roll and leaking out to the basket and things of that nature. He wanted to go with his best foot forward with OG. And in the first half, I was about to pull out my hair. I was like, oh, my God, we're going to lose the game. All he has to do is go big. But the little adjustments, like I said, he made in the second half, it turned out to work perfectly because now, OG's a better perimeter defender. You still got your man Josh Hart out there who can do a lot of things. He's rebounding and things of that nature. So Precious, you don't have the spacing that was needed because also in that second half, I mean, they lit him up from 3. What do you guys think? Let's see. Any comments you got? I'll read them. But I'm just breaking down this Bucks game. So yeah, that was my Tibbs. I was mad at Tibbs moment. Like I said, it didn't last too long because it wound up working. Let's see anything else from this game. So of course Brunson. I mean, man, salute to Brunson, man. Look. We just talked about him, his being fourth in scoring, 28.2 points. He had 43 points last night. Look, this guy is balling when we need him to ball. And I did a video. You guys go check it out. Why Brunson isn't too small. I was supposed to do a part 2 to that, but you guys didn't get. I told you get the views to a certain level. You didn't watch it. But if you go back and watch that video, one of the things I put up in there, and they made such a big deal about size and his size and this, that, and the third. I completely debunked the whole size thing because no one says that about Steph Curry. And when you compare Brunson to Curry, what really is the difference between the two? Well, I mean, what outside of Curry's accolades, But like right now, right? Forget the 4 championships and all of that right now. Yes, that we go. Of course, you can't forget it because that's what makes up Steph Curry. That's a part of his experience. But on the floor right now, right? On the floor right now, not career-wise, are you trying to tell me that Jalen Brunson isn't as effective as Steph Curry? I mean, I don't really see the difference. I think that there's so much, they give the Knicks so much flack about getting a star and you need a star. I think we have a star. I think that, and then what star you going to get that's going to be better than what you have, even with the whole trade Randle thing. But bringing it back to the main point, this guy, he's putting up 43 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists against one of the top defenses in the league, right? A team that's been playing better defense under Doc Rivers. I mean, there's been a big debate with Doc Rivers whether or not the job he's doing. We all know that they are playing better defense under Doc. So Brunson's doing this against a Bucks team that is a better defending team. Got all these big guys in the paint. I mean, you got Brook Lopez getting 3 blocks a game. It's amazing to see what this guy's able to do. Beasley, I believe, had 3 fouls in the first quarter of that game. It was pretty crazy. Let's see. Got the box scores here as well. So you also got Isaiah Hartenstein. Yo, let me tell you something. To all of my Isaiah Hartenstein people, right? Salute to the Isaiah Hartenstein people. You guys are sort of convincing me that, we might have to go with Hartenstein over Mitch if there has to be a decision. I'm not saying there is. The element to the game that Hartenstein brings that is very important, and this is why they're making up for Randle's absence. Not that you can replace Randle, but, guys are stepping up and doing what they have to do to sort of fill in that gap because he's leaving a 24-10 gap that you have to fill, right? So if you don't have that production, it has to come from somewhere. It's coming from Dante. It's coming from Hartenstein. And even OG and Hart, whoever else is in the starting 5 that played in the starting 5, even Deuce when he was there. It's a committee. So we're not going to just individually give you 25 and 10. No, we're going to have Dante bring his scoring from, I believe it was 10, 11 when he first got in the starting lineup to now it's 15, right? So that's an extra 4 or 5 points right there, right? OG was averaging 15, right? Hartenstein, I'm not sure what his average is as a starter, but I'm pretty sure it's double digits as a starter, right? So they're all chipping in more to try to replace Randle's production. And you have a well-balanced lineup. So now, even without Randle there, right, you cannot double-team Jalen Brunson. And Hartenstein exposed that last night in the Bucks. That's how he was able to get the 18 points off 8 or 9 shooting, right? With 10 rebounds. I mean, incredible effort, incredible performance. Mitch, I felt like he had a slow first half, but his defense in the second half, impressive. Mitch is showing me that he's slowly getting his grind back. Let's see if we got anybody in the chat. Salute, John. Peace to you, John, in the chat. Anytime you want to drop a comment, right now, this is the podcast this week inside the New York Knicks. I'm moving a little fast. I'm hitting on topics. Anything you got to say, I always will go back to the chat to read it because I want to interact with you guys, man. I love talking this Knicks stuff. Listen, you in the place to be, man. And first off,
don't forget
definitely
to like this video and also
don't forget to subscribe
to my channel.
All right, hit that bell button, hit that like button, tell a friend to tell a friend. You're now rocking with the best Knicks channel on YouTube. We talking everything that happened last week with the Knicks. We're going to get into the my second seed proclamation. Right now, we talk about this Bucks game. I'm getting ready to move off of this Bucks game. But I'm just trying to let you know that there was a poll I did, and we'll get to that in Word of the Street, where I said, who would you rather see in the second round? I'm thinking Milwaukee over Boston because Boston is a machine. If you're trying to win a championship, you're going to have to see the best teams anyway. But give me Milwaukee in the second round. Give me the Bucks in the second round. We could beat I'm telling you, the Bucks are vulnerable. And I'm not saying that regular season, trumps the playoffs or whatever. But what showed in these last 2 games against the Bucks, because we pretty much blew the Bucks out the last 2 times we played them, is that, one, they definitely have no answer for Jalen Brunson. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's not going to change in the playoffs. So I think it's imperative for the Knicks to get a 3rd seed or 2nd seed in the East to avoid Boston till later in the playoffs, right? Save yourself a series against Boston. Things can happen. Guys get hurt. Guys, go into a slump. You never know what can happen. None of this stuff is written in stone. We know Boston is the best team, unfortunately. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. So, we got to put ourselves in the best position. We can beat the Milwaukee Bucks head up in a playoff series, even without Randle, because that pick and roll, 2 reasons. The pick and roll play with Hartenstein and Brunson is amazing. They're so worried about Brunson that they're completely underestimating the offensive ability of Isaiah Hartenstein. How many times he just literally just turned, got a dunk or a layup, little over shoulder hook, like simple stuff, right? Because he has touch in that little hot mid post, and in the paint, he has a nice little touch. He could do a little one-handed hook shot easy, no problem, right? So now, unlike Mitch, bringing it back to that point about choosing between Mitch and Hartenstein, the thing that Hartenstein gives you is he's actually a live threat to actually be a paint or a post threat. Mitch is a lob threat. Outside of that, there was a play in the 4th quarter. Mitch gets the rebound, and instead of going back up or looking to get it back up, he's looking to pass out. If Mitch doesn't get a dunk, like a clear dunk back or tip in or something like that, more than likely he's passing it back out. Versus Isaiah Hartenstein, yeah, he's probably going to pass it out too, but he's more aggressive and actually can look to make a post move or spin over either shoulder. So the man to me is a little bit more dynamic than Mitch. I love Mitch. Shout out to Mitch. Let me see. I'm trying to think of anything else about this game. No, I think we're good. I think we touched on anything. Anything you guys want to talk about this Bucks game? I think the Bucks game, to me, hella impressive, right? Round of applause for our Knicks, man. They did their thing, man. Salute to the Knicks. So we're gonna move forward. I had some old media. Oh, you know what? I touched a little bit of this old media. Now, look at the old media want to give us our props. Jalen Brunson torches the Bucks in playoff preview. Look, Jalen Brunson delivers the MVP effort. Now it's an MVP effort. It's just funny how tables turn. We talked about that a little bit earlier in the podcast as well. So now let's see. Old media, this is the Post. Salute to the Post, Stefan Bondi. He's like one of the most, he covers the Knicks the most extensively out of most of the other reporters. So they're talking about first quarters. Generally a strong first quarter. Team Knicks have pummeled in opening 12 minutes for the past 5 games. I'm going to say this. I don't think the first quarter is a problem as much as the third quarter. I think that stat that they say, I think the Knicks is 39-3 when they're leading after the third quarter. I think that as long as the game doesn't get too out of hand, the Knicks have proven to be resilient, because even a lot of those 39 wins, they were down in the first quarter. But I don't really read too much into that. I'm gonna move forward. We're gonna move a little fast. Now I want to talk about this OG Anunoby. I'm not sure if any of you in the building, you guys were around for the video, the OG video. I did a video talking about how OG Anunoby, he has tennis elbow. They said he didn't have a return date, right? So this was April 1st. Now maybe this is April Fool's, and I was fooled. Okay, I take it. This is April Fool's. They fooled me. Ha ha, shame on you, the objective fan. You thought that we were actually serious. But look at this article. Now, I'm not going to go too far in because I did a video over it. If you want to watch the video, it's on the channel. It's the second most recent video on the channel where I talked about OG Anunoby possibly missing the entire season and the playoff run is in jeopardy. I never definitively said that OG will miss the playoffs. Some people took it that way. I don't know why. I never said that. I'm just quoting what I read in the paper, right? So the paper said that OG Anunoby, right, he's dealing with tennis elbow. right? Right elbow tendinopathy. I looked it up. That tennis elbow is not something that you want to struggle with, right? And look at this part right here. Remember, this is April 1st. This is the key here, ladies and gentlemen, right? There is no clear return date for Anunoby putting his status for rest of the regular season along with a potential playoff run in question. April 1st, right? This is April 1st. They're talking about OG Anunoby. Okay, all right, so let's move forward. So now we're going to go to, let me see if I got it here. No, not that one. All right, no, I don't got the other OG article. Hold on. 2 seconds. I'm going to pull it up right now. Do I have an article or a quote? So the Bulls game was the, what day was that? The 5th. So now on the 1st, we don't have no return date. It's been mum's the word, right? All of a sudden on the 4th and the 5th, you start to see reports saying that OG Anunoby, they're hopeful for he's going to return and he has contact drills, right? I'm like, wait a minute. How does OG go? This is Ian Begley, by the way. I'm going to read this. I got this quote from Ian Begley here. Let me just put it on something else. Yeah, I'll leave it here, right? So this is what Ian Begley said. OG Anunoby is listed as questionable for the Knicks game versus Bulls game tonight. Per the NBA injury report, Anunoby has missed the past 9 games due to an elbow ailment. Tom Thibodeau said yesterday, the New York Knicks was cautiously optimistic about Anunoby, and this is a big step in his return. So how do we go from April 1st, right? There's no clear return date. That's why I did the video, what I did. Look, there's no April Fools here. I know it's April 1st, but it didn't say April Fools at the end. I didn't get an April Fools at the end. Let's look at, okay. All right, look at this guy look at this comment right here. He said, I had tennis elbow in my left one, can be quite painful. Eventually I had it operated on. Then went on with my life rehab for a month. Don't get it with OG while I feel my elbow occasionally when working out. It doesn't stop me from doing anything. Clearly, this guy has zero tolerance, I'm sure. So the point is that this guy's trying to sell you that it can be painful, right? It can be painful. So I don't get how you go from April 1st to that. Then on the 4th, what I just read, I don't understand that, right? And people was coming for my head, and I'm like, yo, how you coming for my head? I'm just going by what I read, but it's looking like I haven't seen any other reports on any OG's health. So OG look like he's ready to go, and it's good that he's actually getting the month to prepare, and get his thing together. Because even though I wish he would have had a little bit more in March to get prepared, but going into the playoffs, he should at least be conditioned, in shape, and ready to go hard. I mean, he was banging a little bit last night because if you guard Giannis Antetokounmpo, that's not going to be an easy night. So he definitely would look like he's back to his normal self. I'm trying to get my chat. Give me a second. So I just want to touch on this because a lot of people was coming at me for the OG thing. It's not my fault. I didn't write that. You know what I'm saying? These guys, in the post said that. So I'm taking it off me, but we're going to move forward. I think we're going to touch on the Randle now. Let's see. Got my notes here, By the way, while we get our notes together,
subscribe to
definitely hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Definitely hit the like button, share with a friend, tell a friend you rocking with the best Knicks YouTube. Trying to see where I want to go next. Do I want to jump into Flagship? What time we are? I guess we could jump into Flagship. No, what? No, let's stay Flagship. I want to continue on with. I think I want to jump into Randle next. Yeah, I want to jump into Randle next. So, are we at the Bulls game? All right, so let's jump into Randle before we jump into the Bulls game. So I did a video on Randle too. It's talking about how Randle deserves your praise, because once again, he did something. Because I feel like the fans have a lot to do with what the players are doing from a PR, definitely a PR standpoint. Not that they're actually thinking about the fans when they make their decisions. I just think that media, fans put pressure on New York players to act a certain way. And I believe that Randle really wanted to come back for himself first, but to really like stick it to the critics. Because honestly, a lot of Knicks fans is fed up with Randle. I mean, I'm not sure how you guys feel. You know, you feel free to comment as I jump from topic to topic. But a lot of Knicks fans are just not feeling Randle. Right? And this article here is talking about some of the long-term implications of Randle. I don't want to go too far out. I do want to say this. And I'm going to touch a little bit on the video. You can watch it if you really want to get the full gist of what I'm saying. But Randle tried to activate his inner Mamba mentality, right? He tried to, play through he had 2 surgeons tell him, hey, you should get surgery. And he wanted to come back anyway. It wasn't until he had a month prior where he had an issue in contact where he actually hurt himself, where he said that was the beginning of him deciding, let me go get the surgery. And honestly, if it were me, I would have got the surgery. Because I know that if I don't get this surgery and I'm coming back into a playoffs, I know I'm not going to be 100% after everyone is telling me, yo, you don't show up in the playoffs. Now that's adding another chip literally on my shoulder that I don't think is necessary. So, Randle opting for the surgery, I think is the right thing because, especially now, because it's a great possibility that he can come back right before training camp. I mean, you hope that's the best option. Right now, it's looking like directly during training camp he's going to come back. So, hey, I just hope for the best for Randle, man. Salute to Randle, man. He tried to be there for us because we saw the vision. We were 11-1. 11 wins, 1 loss when you had OG, Brunson, and Randle in the lineup. I'm going to get to Flagship in a second, but if we would have had a healthy, big 3, we would be, I'm not saying we would pass the Celtics, but you see how the Celtics got 62 wins? I think we would have like 54-5 wins, like on their heels, giving them a little push. I can't say we would have just overtook the Celtics. I do think that we would have more wins, right? But we're still in position to get to that second seed, right? And we're going to get there. So let's see where we at next. All right, so I guess we could jump into the Bulls game. Let's see what I got up here. And then Stephen A. Smith, before I get to the Bulls game. Oh. Stephen A. Smith with his meltdown on TV. Now, salute to Stephen A. Smith. Listen, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Kings County. We spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. So I could never take shots at Stephen A. And I consider him a mentor from a distance. I never met him in person, but, I definitely follow him. I like his channel. I like some of his shows. I don't watch everything, but I'm aware of what he's doing. But when it comes to the Knicks, and I'm going to give you an example. This is your chance to actually put your power as a fan in media to the test, where you could have literally voted for Brunson to be a starter in the All-Star game, but you chose Halliburton and Lillard because you felt like they were more deserving or whatever excuse he came up with that was crazy. See, that type of stuff right there, I have an issue with. I'm not saying that you take a guy who doesn't deserve to start. Now, if Brunson was just an all-star, like who barely got in, like, he was like the last guy on the list, okay, that would be that's not fair. But Brunson was balling. The Knicks had a better record than the Pacers for the majority of the season. And around that time, the Knicks definitely had a better record than the Pacers. You can fact check me if I'm wrong. But at the same time, that's what he should have did. Oh, salute to Garfield in the building, man. Salute Garfield. I see you. I see you, man. Just rocking with the podcast, man. Hopefully we could bring back Dagger Squad Sports soon, Garfield. Definitely, man. Salute to you in the building, man. Dagger Squad Sports. Check it out. That was a Thursday show we was doing. We wasn't just talking Knicks. We were talking all sports, man. So I'm rocking out right now. I'm just going through. I'm just going in right now. I'm talking about Stephen A. Smith and, you know, his meltdown on air. You know, a lot of it is cat, and I'm going to tell you why. Stephen A. Smith never had high expectation for the Knicks anyway. He didn't think that we were going to do nothing special anyway. In fact, Stephen A. started to come around after the OG trade. That's when Stephen A. was like, oh man, the Knicks is going to do what they do. In the beginning of the year, Stephen A. said the Knicks was a third seed. Right? I also said the Knicks was a third seed. So by saying the Knicks is a third seed, how do you have a meltdown on air when we still in position? I think we could win the second seed. Now I'm going to get to that in a second, but how do you have a meltdown on air as if we're not in position to be a third seed? In fact, it's more than likely that's where we're going to end up because Orlando has the tiebreaker and Milwaukee. So even if we tie with those teams, or rather not tie because they both would have the tiebreaker, so we'll be fourth. But even if we bump one of those teams out of there and we tie with Orlando or Milwaukee, they're going to have the say. So we'll wind up in the third spot anyway. So what are you having a meltdown for? It's not like we're not going to finish where you thought we were going to finish, right? And even if we finish fourth, that's not a meltdown. That's okay. We didn't get that one spot we thought we was going, but we're one behind where we're supposed to be, right? So I don't think Stephen A. ever thought we were going to win the championship. I was coming around to it. I was like, yo, we might could go to the finals. I honestly was beginning to feel that way. But with the injuries, that's why I couldn't jump out the window. I am the objective Knicks fan, not just a stan. I'm not just going to jump out the window because I like the Knicks and it's New York. No. I go based on what I see. And what I saw was a team that was on the right path, but we just had some misfortune in the injury bugs and got hurt at the wrong time, unfortunately. So his meltdown to me is cap, respectfully, because you never had any expectations for us to be better than third anyway. I think he did say Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the Eastern Conference Finals, I think is possible, but it's going to be hard to get there with Milwaukee in a 7-game series. I think we could beat them. It's going to be hard to get there without Randle. But even Stephen A. knew, and we agree on this, if we face Boston in the second round, I'm sorry, I don't got us beating Boston. Is it possible? Yes. Am I going to cheer for us to do it? Of course. But I just don't see it. So his meltdown, I don't get it. I don't get the meltdown. You never thought we were going to do much anyway. Let's stop the cat. I got the top messages on. Let me see if I'm missing anything. But salute to Garfield in the building. So I'm gonna jump into the Bulls game. I had some power ranking thing, but I'm gonna move because I don't want to keep the stream too long. I lost my mouse. All right, here we go. Yeah, I don't care about that. We're gonna jump into the Bulls game, right? Now, if there was a frustrating game on the season, in my opinion, the Bulls game is probably the most frustrating game, or like top 5. The Bulls game was top 5 frustrating game. I don't want to get no flags. Keep this out. Okay. What's playing? Something is playing. Do you guys hear something playing? I hear something. I don't know where it's coming from. Hold on, let me double back. Okay, I think we good now. Okay, so with the Bulls game, Brunson had 35. It was a hard 35. Honestly, I think the Bulls did a good job defending Brunson, even though he still went crazy. You're not it's to a point now where you're not going to stop Jalen Brunson. In my opinion, he's a star on the verge of superstar. You can't guard Jalen Brunson with one guy. It has to be a team with schemes. And so I felt like the way the Bulls what they were trying to do worked in parts, but he still wound up getting off because he's going to get off, right? Where I think the Bulls did well was they pretty much shut everybody else out of the game. The size inside, Drummond and what's his name? Not Vujacic. Is it Vujacic? No, I think it's Valanciunas. Hold on. I always get them mixed. Yeah, Vujacic. Okay. Drummond and Vujacic, we was not about that life that game. That game, those guys, their size, it was overwhelming. Definitely overwhelming, right? I just want to test it. You guys still hear? Okay, you guys still hear that. So their size was overwhelming on the inside. I think we were out rebounded by 19 boards. That's bad because we're probably the best rebounding team in basketball. So when you're the best rebounded, we got out rebounded by 9 boards. Anytime you're getting out rebounded on the glass, and that's the key to your success, you're gonna lose. And secondly, I mean, besides Deuce, no one else really had it going. Dante, he was off the mark. 2 of 7 from downtown. This game was tough, but I don't really want to break down this game too much. What I want to talk about, right, is the controversy of this game, okay? We're going to talk about Josh Hart. Now, Josh Hart, as you can see, he only had 11 minutes, right? He didn't get fouled out. He was ejected. Unwrongfully ejected. And they gave him a technical foul, too. But then they had to, of course, rescind it because you can't do a double penalty on an ejection. So my thing is, yeah, he kicked the man in the head. Yeah, it could have been a flagrant one. But to say that it was intentional, I have a problem with that, bro. Josh Hart does not have a reputation for doing stuff like this. Where do you go to, okay, we looking at the replay and we decided that he actually intentionally kicked the man in the head. And so that's why we're going to throw him out. Yeah, it's not a basketball player. Okay, that's a flagrant one. But clearly he was making a move, right? And sometimes your body contorts in ways that is just, not in the basketball fashion, and you can make contact. That's all that was. This was no Draymond Green. Trust me, we seen the Draymond Green stuff. There was a difference, and to me, and I'm not just saying this because I'm a Knicks fan. I'm saying this because I'm the objective Knicks fan. There's a difference between what Draymond Green was doing and what Josh Hart did. And to make these matters worse is Scott Forster, because Josh Hart, I think I got that article here. Josh Hart was calling out Scott Forster, right, for, what he calls to be a ridiculous, selfish ejection. See, look, that's the kick there. He's in the air. It's not like he jumped in the air, right, and do a kick. You know how you're doing a jump kick like you doing Street Fighter, and he jumped in the air with the kick? Okay, that's an ejection. But he was in the air and his leg, flailed out. He didn't mean to actually kick the man in. It wasn't an intention by it. Was it a flagrant? Yes. But it wasn't a flagrant 2. It was a flagrant 1. Right? So I'm with Josh Hart with that. These guys, they are tripping, if you ask me. Now, let me see something. Oh, it's something from this page. Okay, let me close that out. I need to double check. Yeah, we good. We good. Okay, so yeah, I agree. And let's see. This is who's speaking? Hopefully it gets a ruling like that to where a player gets kicked out of a game. Hopefully they can change that from the refs on the court who might have had different involvement in the game to the people in Secaucus where there's a handful of people where there's consistency there. Yeah, I agree. Yo, Josh Hart, man, look. I agree with that. I do think that, how do you guys feel about that? Instead of the refs in the building getting to say, let Secaucus weigh in too. Like, not for every call, but like when you're getting ready to eject the guy. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the chat. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I'm definitely reading the chat messages. This is the podcast This Week Inside the New York Knicks, episode 18. We're back after a little layoff, but I agree with Josh Hart. I'm gonna keep it moving. I'm looking at the time. We forgot about like 10, 15 minutes. So yeah, this is that article saying the same thing. Flagrant foul 2. See if anybody else is saying something. Another thing about this, right? I remember Jalen Brunson was dribbling on the sideline. It was a double team. And Andre Drummond had a reckless closeout and literally tackled Jalen Brunson. In the 90s, that's a hard foul. In 2024, that's a flagrant 1. I'm not asking for Draymond to be thrown out the game. So for Drummond to be thrown out the game. So when Drummond tackled Brunson, right, they called a regular foul. Brunson and I think Tibbs went to Scott Foster. Yo, you're not going to review that? I got laid out. I thought I was watching the Jets. I'm like, oh, wait, I'm watching the Knicks. Why they not calling it that way, right? So I don't know if there's politics there with Scott Foster. I don't know. I don't want to get conspiracied out. But, I just feel like they dropped the ball with that, y'all. What do y'all think, man? What do y'all think about that? That was crazy. Let me see where I'm at in my notes, man. So we talked about Josh Hart with the Bulls. Oh yeah, in that same game, Dante DiVincenzo was told to tuck in his jersey by a fan. Get out of here. And then Dante told him shut the F up. Right? They was making a big deal about that too. Now let's jump into Flagship. I think we talked about this Bulls game enough. Two things too with the Bulls game before I move. Caruso, I'm not sure what his status is going to be, but Caruso, he's dealing with an injury. Hold on, just to do a quick little preview right quick, because we see them again. So, yeah, right now, Caruso's a game-time decision. I don't know what happened with Kobe White, because Kobe White left the game too. He's not listed on this injury report. Let's see if I can pull up the full injury report. We'll pull up the full one. But I know Kobe White also. He's not listed on the injuries, so it might have been nothing. But yeah, Kobe White, he left the game too. My point I was going to say, like, if they don't have Kobe White and Caruso in that last game, oh yeah, we definitely smoking. The last two games, we definitely smoking them regardless. They can have both of them. But I'm just saying, if they didn't got those, because those two guys. Kobe White, he's always a threat on the perimeter, and Caruso's their best defender. He's actually an All-NBA defensive team. So now this guy Javonte Green also is pretty solid for Chicago. Chicago got a nice little team. They're gonna be some work in the future. I can't front on Chicago. Trust me. If I could front on them, I would, but I can't. Jalen Brunson, MVP. Oh, I didn't mean to open that up. Jalen Brunson, was player of the month, right? He was averaging 30 points a game per March. Look, I don't care what they have to do. I don't care what they have to do. Jalen Brunson is either a first team or a second team All-NBA team. I don't care, this, that, and the third, Luka, Shai. I don't care about none of that. There's no positions. So, you don't got to do the two guards, the two forwards, the center. They got rid of that. So now what it's going to be is just the five, this straight 15, the best 15. So if you have to put Shai, Luka, Tatum, Jokic, maybe Brunson gets the 5th spot. Because they don't got to go by position. Just putting it out there. I'm not saying he has to be first team. I'm saying that there's an argument that he could be first team, right? But he's definitely second team. And that's not a debate. And on the second team, he's at the top of the second team. So, like, if they were doing it from 1 to 15, right? He will be number 6 on that list. Now, the first team, I give you that. Okay, you don't want to put him, but that second team, listen to me. Second team, guaranteed Jalen Brunson. All right? But salute to Jalen Brunson, man. He's the conference player of the week. Of the month. He's got multiple week ones, too. So let's see. I'm going to jump into Flagship. I know that's why some of you guys is here. Jalen Brunson, off-season contracts. He's open to an extension. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think the Knicks need to lock him up really quick, really fast? I think so. I think that, you don't want him to get All-NBA second team this year and then All-NBA first team next year. And now he's like, all right, you got to give me super duper max. I say, lock him up now. Don't make the Dallas mistake. Because either way, they're going to pay him whatever he wants. But I'm just saying, if I'm the Knicks and I want to save bread, I would do it that way. But I'm going to jump into the Flagship topic. We're going to go backwards here. We're going to go to the standings, right? So I think that the Knicks can and will finish top with the second seed in the East. Why do I say that? One of the guys pointed out earlier, salute to Mark. He was in the building earlier. Mark said it best. He said that the Bucks have a tough schedule. The Bucks have a tough schedule, and they've been on the losing side of things. They're 3-7 in their last 10 games. They lost 4 games straight. That is not a good sign in April going into the playoffs. We could pull their schedule up. So salute to the people that just joined the building. Don't forget Definitely. To like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my hit channel. That like button. We rocking and rolling. Right now, we're looking at the Bucks schedule. So look, they got the Magic twice. The Celtics, that game could honestly be a win for them because the Celtics might rest their players, right? Now, the Thunder, they're competing for that top seed in the West. I don't know if they're going to stop playing. A lot of things is going on, a lot of politics with that, but they definitely clinched the top 3 seed. So I don't know if OKC going to go hard, but I'm telling you right now, they're going to lose at least 3 out of 4 of these games. They definitely losing 3 out of... Maybe they could go 500, but I could see them losing 3 of these games because Magic going hard. Magic playing for a spot, so Magic going to go out their heads hard. Thunder go out their heads hard. Speaking of the Magic, right? They're the other team we're tied with, right? So look at the Magic. Look at the Magic schedule. So when we go to the Magic schedule, hold on, pull that up. Click on the Magics. They got the Bucks twice. Then the Sixers, who's also competing for a spot with a healthy Joel Embiid. I haven't heard anything setting him back just yet, right? And then they got the Rockets. That's kind of a throwaway. I don't know if the Rockets still gonna play because they out of it. They out of it, but. They got 3 tough games. Now, let's look at our schedule, right? So we're going to go to our schedule. Let's click on... Get up out of here. Pull up the Knicks. Let's look at our schedule yet. The last 4 games, right? And honestly... I honestly wish. I don't know if this is going to happen. But listen to me, y'all. And you tell me if I'm crazy. I wish the Knicks could go out, just win out the 4 games. I would love to get 50 wins on the season. If we could get 50 wins on the season, that's a stamp. But there's no reason why we couldn't win these next 4 games. We got the Bulls twice. The Bulls they got a good team. They're just not on our level, even without Randle. They're just not on our level. I guarantee you we're going to beat the Bulls twice. And you could stamp this, you could screenshot this, snip this, whatever you want to do. We're going to beat the Bulls these next 2 games. Watch, right? Now, the Nets might be our toughest game, yo. Why do I say that? Because the Nets ain't got nothing to lose. They hate us. They're going to go hard. The Nets are going to go hard. Trust me. The Nets, they're coming for our necks. The Bulls, we're going to have a little bit more fire for them because they beat us. The Celtics is kind of a hit or a miss because, once again, we don't know if they're going to be resting. We don't know what team they're going to put out there. The Celtics might say, you know what, we're going to put all our dudes out there bumping. We don't care. We going hard, right? But then they could also, I could see a scenario where, they just rest like Tatum, Brown, and they're like, we don't care. We take whatever fine they want to give us. It's no way to know what that Celtics game is going to be. But I would love to just win out all 4 games. I think it's possible. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if we were to win, let me go back to the full standing. If we were to win the next 4 games, right, we are a lock for that second seed because the Magic and the Bucks, right, at least one of those teams can't win the next 4 games because they play each other. So let's say the Bucks win the next 4 games, right? They're going to be locked in at that second seed, right? Magic fall. We'll be locked in at the 3rd seed. So it's either we're going to be a 2nd seed or definitely a lock at the 3rd seed. So I would love to see it. I think that now OG is back. Mitch is getting back in his groove. Isaiah Hartenstein is a post threat. So now in your scheme defensively, that means the Knicks don't have no weak links on the floor offensively and defensively because they all play defense. So, but on the offensive side, there's no one guy. See, that was the knock on the Knicks last year. And it's no knock to Quentin Grimes. But he just was the weak link on the floor on the offensive end. Teams were just letting him get his shots off. He was hitting a lot of them because he was shooting 38%, but he was only averaging 6-7 points. You don't got a guy in the starting lineup that averages less than 10 points. I mean, unless you want to look at the season, Isaiah Hartenstein's averaging 8.7. I'm pretty sure if I pull up Hartenstein's stats as a starter, he's in double digits. Just like Josh Hart. Same thing, OG. So you got a whole lineup of guys giving you double-digit production. That means that on the offensive end, you don't have any weak links that you can, okay, I'm gonna leave my man because he ain't giving me nothing. He just, you can't do that with the Knicks. You got to defend all 5 guys. And they all moving. It's constant motion. These guys are cutting. They going back door. That's the Noble Boys thing. They constant motion, constant movement, right? How do you defend that? So I think that based on the scheduling aspect, we only really got the Celtics and the Bulls 2 games. I'm not saying we're going to smack them, but we're going to beat the Bulls twice. Trust me. If we lose the other 2 games, we're going to beat the Bulls twice. I guarantee it, right? Cavs, I'm going to pull up the Cavs because the Cavs is a live dog. I'm not really worried about the Pacers because they have a lot more ground to come up. Oh, and look, the Cavs play the Pacers, so that's a big game. So see, all the other teams in the top 5, they play each other at least once or twice. So someone has to fall. It's like the seas have parted open for us, and we can literally walk right to the second seed. If the Knicks win out, if we can win all 4 games, I think we guaranteed. And I mean, we guaranteed the 3rd seed for sure. But that second seed, depending on what Milwaukee does, right? If Milwaukee drops the ball and they slipping and tripping, that second seed could be ours easily. Now, one thing to be concerned with the second seed, all right? One thing I'm going to say about the second seed, and I'm going to get ready to wrap soon. If you get to the second seed, you're going to have to play more than likely. Well, honestly, it could be either or. The Sixers or Miami. So that's what comes with that second seed. The Sixers is dangerous because they got a healthy Joel Embiid. They're a different team when he's there. That's a little scary. Not to say we can't get it done, but you get that second seed, you're looking at possibly, I think more than likely, the 76ers. Because I think that, with Joel Embiid there, they're going to do their part to win as many games as they can, and they're going to beat Miami in that little playing game. Now, the crazy part about that is Miami drops to that 8th, 9th or 10th game, Now they got to see Boston in the first round. Could you imagine the Heat, Boston, or even the Sixers, Boston in the first round? That would be crazy. Now, that's your only concern. I'm less concerned with Miami because I don't think they're the same team from last year, but they do have the same structural pieces there, the same foundation, the same coach, the same best players, Hero, Bam, Butler, and you add Terry Rozier. We did beat them early, and I think we could beat them again. I mean, we beat them without Randle, and so I don't think that's a problem, but to be honest, the third seed to me is a little bit more, that third seed, because you're going to see either the Pacers or the Cavs. Both those teams, I think we could beat. Pacers play no defense. That's just a recipe for disaster in playoff battle. In fact, I'll say if we see the Pacers in the first round, I think that we'll either sweep them or 5 games. Because maybe they get one because they're just, shooting the gym. But they're not winning no more than that. Cleveland is going to be a little harder series because of last year, because they're going to play for, we're going to beat Cleveland up. Cleveland don't got what it takes. They don't got nobody who literally can put a hand on Jalen Brunson. They don't got nobody who could even, and of course you could say the same thing with us. They got Mitchell and Garland. That's going to be tough. But at least we got Deuce. We got guys that are just known defenders. But Jalen Brunson's playing at another level right now. And I think when those teams play, if we play, Jalen Brunson's the best player on the floor. Oh, notice that too, how they was talking that best player on the floor nonsense. Yeah, I guarantee you that rhetoric is changing. Oh, when you look at the Knicks, when they play these teams, they don't have the best player on the floor. The only 2 teams right now in the East that when Knicks play them, you could say the Knicks don't have the best player on the floor is Boston and Milwaukee. Every other team in the East, I'm taking Jalen Brunson. I don't care Miami. I don't care about none of that playoff Jimmy, nothing. I don't care about Bam, none of that. Right now, Jalen Brunson to me is better than any of the other top teams. I'm talking about Magics, Cavs, Pacers. 76ers, of course, Embiid. Strike that from the record, of course. Embiid is the but all the other teams besides Embiid. Okay? So I'm just saying, a lot of that old rhetoric is gone. So to wrap up, I think I'm going to wrap up on Word of the Street. Where am I at? Let's see. Is there any other things I want to talk about? Johnny Bryant, they're saying that he might be out of there. So this might be the last year of Johnny Bryant. They're talking about him going to the Nets. Honestly, I think that would be a good fit for him, Johnny. But the problem with the Nets is, first of all, the Nets need to let go of the management. That's one. And I'm not a player hater. But nothing like that. Salute to the Nets. They doing what they got to do. But at the same time, I think that, they got management issues. But salute to Johnny Bryant with that. I'll end on the Word of the Street because it's getting late. I think we got a solar eclipse too. I think the solar eclipse. I think I'm going live while the eclipse is going. But I'm going to wrap up. We're just going to look at a couple of these community posts. By the way, salute to y'all for helping me get to 700 subs. Before we get up out of here. I definitely appreciate you guys, to all the people, if you subscribe during the stream as well, it's definitely appreciated. I'm going to do some of these polls, not all of them. I'm going to do the ones that's most interesting because I did one every day. I'm going to skip this one. Let's start here. Let's talk about Shaq. Shaq, he says that the Orlando Magic will sweep the Knicks in a potential first-round matchup. What are your thoughts on that? Shaq told me he's going to sweep the Knicks. So we had 290 votes. And, hold on. You know what? I can't even. Give me 2 seconds. Let me just sign in. I'm going to sign in, and then we'll look at what Shaq. We'll see how many people voted on that Shaq stuff. Shaq is tripping, by the way. He is definitely tripping. Thinking that we're going to get swept by the Magic. I don't know what he saw to make him feel that way. Like, I'm really trying to figure that part out. That's kind of crazy to me because, to be honest, the Magic beat us because we didn't have our team. I mean, just to keep it all the way funky. I mean, every time we played the Magic, we never was really healthy when we played them. Now, I know they had a couple of games where they didn't have Suggs and all of that, but, the Magic just caught us at the right time. That doesn't make them a better team than us. You know what I'm saying? Definitely doesn't. trying to log in. I can't log in. What's going on? Oh man, I'm logged out. I'm logged out the account. Hold on. Let me go back. Yeah, I should be in. Try to get it back, man. I don't know what's going on. I just want to see the word on the street, man, before we go, so we can see what the Knicks fans feel, man. Let's see. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Let me bring this over here. You know, it won't be a live stream without technical difficulties. You know how that go. So we're gonna start with the Shaq, right? All right. So I'm gonna say Shaq is wrong. The Knicks will win. So yeah, Knicks fans, we confident going into the playoffs. 291 votes, right? Only 5% say Shaq is right. The Knicks will lose. Owen. You know what's funny with these polls, right? I drop these polls sometimes when we going on losing streaks, right? like we might have lost a crazy game. Like I think recently we lost to San Antonio. So this might have been like right after that. I mean, because yeah, San Antonio, then we lost 3 in a row. We lost to Miami. So sometimes, that plays a role into the voting. But even through all of that, 84% say the Knicks will win, and then 11% say the Knicks will lose, but not 0-4. Shaq, yeah, you gotta get out of here with that. So this is my number one poll of all times. Attention, Knicks fans. Now it's confirmed that Randle will opt for season-ending surgery. How far can the Knicks go in the playoffs? So this is a very interesting poll, right? Because I'm pretty sure if you voted on this poll last week, you probably feel a little different this week. I'm honestly going to say because of that second seed, for fun, I'm going to put conference final shocker, okay? So we got 898 votes. 7% of the people think that it's going to be a first-round buyout. Once again, salute to Knick Nation, man. Y'all riding with the Knicks. Look, we riding with our team. We honestly believe in our team, and we think we're going to do what we got to do. So 44% say an all right second-round appearance. Honestly, I'm kind of on that train because I think that not having Randle is going to be hard to get beyond that round. But depending on matchups and who you see in the second round, like I said, a vulnerable Milwaukee Bucks, or hypothetically, the Bucks get that second seed and they got to play Embiid in that first round. Now, Embiid takes them out. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but who you rather see? I think that's a pick your poison, the Bucks or the Sixers. I think we could be either one of them. I mean, I'm not saying that we're going to win, but I think we could win that matchup. All right. And then 13%, 36% say conference finals shocker. I'm on that train right now. And then 13% say NBA finals dream. And we'll do one more for the road. Let's do I got 2 Hartenstein posts. I don't know how that happened, but let's do this one. Okay. So, rumor has it that Hartenstein might command $13 million a year for his contract during free agency. Do you think the Knicks could retain his services at that price point? I think they could afford him if they want him. Yeah, most fans say they want him. A lot of you guys are on the Isaiah Hartenstein train. I'm not mad at you. I'm just not really ready to let go of Mitch. I think that Mitch, still has a lot of value, and I don't know. I want both of them. I can't decide. So that would be it said, man. Salute to you guys, man, for rocking out with me during the eclipse. Definitely going to end the show here. We'll be rocking every Monday. I'm thinking about making the podcast a live podcast going forward, a live broadcast. I'll see, but if not, it'll be pre-recorded. But I definitely thank you guys for checking me out, man. Be sure to check out the shop. The link is below, shop.theobjectiveknicksfan.com. Some of the shirts you see rolling over there is there. I'm working on the Discord. I'm putting the final touches on it. It should be ready. I'm going to give myself, today's the 8th. Before the end of this month, Discord will be up and running for sure. Probably before that, but definitely we're going to have a Discord so we can keep the chat going and stuff like that. Any other announcements? No other announcements at this time. Just definitely stay tuned. Going to be rocking. I'm going to try to do a lot of live streams for the playoff games, the live play-by-plays that we do. Stay tuned for that. I'll let you guys know. But Expect to see a lot more of me. I ain't going anywhere. Here to stay, man. But enjoy your day. I don't want to keep you much longer. Until next time, let's go Knicks.